And El Papi.
Puppy!
Kevin Jones. Blue-White Historic versus Blue-White Midrange. DeCandio did make our standard classic top 8 last weekend.
Nice.
Before he had to drop and leave to catch a flight back to
yeah,
Denver.
that happens.
Yeah?
The classics sometimes pretty big. Sometimes they go a little later, later than the Open most of the time.
Yeah.
And you gotta get out of there. You gotta get home.
But he played Blue-White Control last weekend. He's made it more of a shift to a Blue-White mid-range deck
Well,
now.
now that people actually have some more reps under their belt in this standard format, you had a whole other extra week to test. Last week, you had a few days where the set was on Magic Online. You had to learn things. Now he's learned the things, and now he wants to tap out a bunch.
Huh? Tapping out's not so bad. There's a Heart of Kieran. That's a heck of a card to tap out for on turn number 2.
Yeah, it's specifically good in Brennan's deck. He has Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Karn Sign of Urza, and Gideon of the Trials, all as planeswalkers that can crew the Heart of Kieran, which is nice. His Shalai, Voice of Plenty, and Lyra can also crew it, but he doesn't have a ton of creatures, and it looks like Heart of Kieran, it doesn't get crewed by History of Benalia right now, but once he gets 2 creatures on the battlefield from it, he will be able to crew Heart of Kieran then.
History of Benalia will not resolve, as the Supreme Will counter that.
Love that one.
Kevin started a couple of lands here, among them Meandering River. Here comes Walking Ballista in for 1 yet again, sort of. Is that tapped? Kevin, there we go.
We'll call it not tapped yet.
And he'll play an Irrigated Farmland. For Brennan, 3 lands, one of which is an Irrigated Farmland. This is another copy of History of Benalia. There is your Knight that has Vigilance. Can't crew Heart of Kieran just yet.
Yeah, Vigilance is pretty sweet on History of Benalia's Knights. Oof. Not so good against that one.
So, Todd, as another Knight will enter the battlefield, let's talk about Lyra Dawnbringer and Baneslayer Angel, because you were playing during Baneslayer Angel days like me.
Yeah.
And you're playing now during the Lyra Dawnbringer days.
Yeah.
So, how do you analyze this card? Because when this came out, people were just like, okay, it's Baneslayer Angel, but a lot of players weren't around when Baneslayer Angel was in Standard, 10 years ago?
Sooner than
Maybe
that.
like 8 or something?
Yeah, closer to 7.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, as far as a virtual reprint is concerned, it is.
Yeah.
It's just legendary. The Baneslayer Angel had the protection from dragons and whatever else. Demons
and dragons. Yep.
Demons and dragons. Yeah, that doesn't happen that much. And much like Lyra is not going to be pumping Knights all that much. It's a little bit of give and take. But for the most part, they are very functionally similar cards.
So, I mean, are we looking at this as just the kind of card where you just play a bunch from a main deck, and if they don't answer, the game is over? Are you building your decks with this card in mind of, I have to be able to kill this card to even be able to function?
I mean, it's a lot like the Scarab God test. For a while, the Scarab God test was if your deck could kill your opponent before they played Scarab God or effectively put them dead before they cast Scarab God, great. But otherwise, you need some sort of exiling removal spell to kill it. Now with Lyra Dawnbringer, it's similar because it's 5 mana, so it doesn't die to like a Braid, Lightning Strike. You need some combination of burn spells to kill it, or something that gets rid of it with one go.
Okay.
I think that it is mostly a sideboard card in Blue-White Control, but it's refreshing to see it here in both of these decks. We have DeCandio and Kevin Jones both playing main deck Lyra Dawnbringer as their primary win condition.
Yeah, you've got Kevin, who's just cast it on back-to-back turns, and fortunately for Brennan, he's answered it on back-to-back turns. One with a cast out, second time with an Essence Scatter. Kevin's got main, he's got 3 main, Brennan has 3 main too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is becoming a main deck card, maybe a main deck staple in white-based strategies, as you're going to see 2 Knight tokens attack here with Vigilance. Brennan still has not crewed up the Heart of Kieran just yet, but no need to given the battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, Heart of Kieran does a great job of pressuring Planeswalkers because it has flying. But right now, Kevin can have some sort of removal spell for the Heart of Kieran. So DeCandio is content just attacking with the 2/2 Vigilance Knights. Now that the Walking Ballista can become a 3/3, he has more incentive to crew the Heart of Kieran, though. And that's why Heart of Kieran's in the deck. It flies.
Heart of Kieran will be crewed by those 2 Knight tokens. And we'll see if an attack's actually going to work here. It looks like it will, so Kevin's going to take 4 more damage, it appears. Brendan going to play land. Not sure what else DeCandio has to play this turn, but right now, thus far, Brendan's just been a good stuff deck. As here's a Torrential Gearhulk from Kevin. Interesting.
So Brennan's deck, even though it does tap out quite a bit for these Planeswalkers, has a reasonable amount of cheap counterspells, 2 copies of Disallow, 1 Essence Scatter, 2 Negates, and his removal spells in Seal Away and Cast Out both also have Flash. So, even though he's tapping out quite a bit, he can play something that costs like, anywhere from 2 to 4 mana as the game progresses and still hold up one of these spells.
Kevin's going to attack with Walking Ballista. He says, I'll remove a counter, kill a knight, which means you'll have some difficulty crewing up crewing up Heart of Kieran, not History of Banala. That card does not have crew. I like to call it History of Banana.
History of, yeah.
But that's not the name of it.
Yeah, it's fine. Can't, not all your catchphrases can be hits.
Definitely true. Most of them are misses, so that's fine.
So Kevin's deck, I think, actually might be slightly favored in this matchup just because of the existence of Torrential Gearhulk. That card is just very good in general, and it looks like he has the second one in hand. He's considering playing it, flashing back Supreme Will just to not only get rid of the Knight token, but also to get a look at the top 4 for the best one.
Well, here is Supreme Will. Kevin will recast it from the graveyard via the Gearhulk. Take a look at the top couple of cards. Take one along with him.
Yeah, but now the shields are down from Kevin's side, so if Brennan has a follow-up like a Teferi here of Dominaria, even a Gideon of the Trials here is pretty good because he gets the plus on the Torrential Gearhulk, but it looks like he's just flooding out, has a bunch of nothing.
Well,
maybe some negates. Yeah,
maybe some counter spells that just aren't lining up right now, so we're going to head back over to Kevin. Kevin with the Torrential Gearhulk, he's feeling confident enough to attack, so he will. It looks like for maybe not.
That's the is it tapped or not?
the
tapped or not phase.
Yeah, the Kevin Jones dance that we're doing here. Maybe he was a little bit afraid of Seal Away, which was pretty obviously in Brennan's hand.
Lyra number trade.
Yeah, that is the 3rd Lyra Dawnbringer. First 2 were answered. 3rd one, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance he has. Ooh, this is my boy.
Teferi.
He is quite good. Specifically in matchups where people have enchantment-based removal, just the ability to unlock your own creatures is pretty insane. But, in any sort of blue-white deck. What? Oh, what?
That's an insane turn. No,
what just happened?
Teferi tuck away the Gearhulk and then remove a counter to attack with Heart.
Oh, he was at 4.
Yeah,
right.
He was at 4.
Okay. Yeah, the Knights did quite a number. But yeah, I mean, that's why Heart of Kieran's in the deck. You have a bunch of Planeswalkers to help crew it. It's not like his creatures are that great at crewing it. He has like some Walking Ballistas that he can get up there. History of Banala needs both Knights to crew it or 1 Knight to crew it on the pump turn. But, you're trading 4 damage for 4 damage, so it's not even that big of a deal. We saw Brennan actually choose to attack with the Knights over crewing the Heart of Kieran multiple times.
Yeah. Game 1 does go to Brennan DeCandio. Blue-White mid-range of a game here over Kevin Jones' Blue-White Historic deck. Kevin casts 3 Lyra Dawnbringers, none of them any good. We'll talk about that and a whole bunch more. But first, a couple of words from our sponsors. We are back. Brennan DeCandio, Kevin Jones getting ready here for game number 2. DeCandio did win game number 1 with blue-white mid-range of a game over Kevin Jones and his blue-white historic deck. So we will start with the Daddy and his 3 negates, 2 authority of the consoles, 2 forsake the worldly, 2 fumigate, a getting of the trials to settle the records, a Jace's defeat, a Shalai voice of plenty, another copy of Glimmer of Genius, and a River's Rebuke. We know Kevin loves to play the flash game. How can he improve his matchup?
I think for starters, most of the removal from Brennan's side is going to be enchantment based. So forsake the worldly seems like an easy inclusion. If it's ever dead and he needs to find like a specific answer to something, he can also just cycle it. I don't love negates since there are quite a few cards that negate doesn't answer well, like Lear Dawnbringer. But I mean, and also we didn't actually get to see a ton of what was in Brennan's deck. So negate's probably coming in blind no matter what, just because he saw History of Benalia, Teferi, Heart of Kiran.
Got killed by Heart of Kiran, yeah.
Yeah, and he's on the play, so it can stop a Heart of Kiran. So it's probably not that bad. But Kevin also saw Heart of Kiran, and it's important to note that usually decks with Heart of Kiran have a bunch of creatures. It is just specifically not that many in this deck. Other than that, you know, I like playing more of a control route. Glimmer of Genius seems okay. You just want more big hits for your Torrential Gearhulk. Jace's Defeat's pretty good since it can stop like Teferi and such. It's usually better against decks that have the Scarab God because it can counter their good blue spells that, you know, are non-creatures, as well as some of their creatures like Torrential Gearhulk, whereas Negate doesn't stop Scarab God or Gearhulk. But I think that's probably going to come in. Yeah, that's probably it. Gideon doesn't seem great against opposing History of Benalia.
Okay. I'm going to go to Brennan's side. 3 forsake the worldly, 2 Fall of Thran. That's like the Armageddon-esque spell. 2 Wrath, Cashfin, Ship's Mage, 2 Settle the Wreckage of his own, 2 Fumigate, 2 Negate, 1 Jace's Defeat, and 1 Seal Away. So we can go a little bit more controlling with his more mid-range deck if he wants to.
Yeah, I don't think that's really going to be the plan. You know, this is a very grindy matchup, and he doesn't want too many reactive cards. Like stuff like Fumigate could just be bad if you gain a significant advantage. Settle the Wreckage, similar deal. You know, like it's rarely going to hit more than 1 creature. If it hits 2, it's probably only okay. I like maybe shifting more towards Wrath Capuchin, Ship's Mage, just becoming a true mirror at that point, just both being these flashy historic decks. Fall of Thran, I think, is way more for a true blue-white control deck, and I don't think I would bother.
Okay.
But yeah, Forsake the Worldly, again, being pretty good because both decks have enchantment-based removal and a lot of, artifacts and enchantments.
We'll take a look at the scoreboard here very quickly before these players get ready for game number 2. You've got Harlan Fear up a game here over Tan and Grace. Grix's Pyromancer goes a little bit bigger than Grix's Delver, which means that Harlan does win game number 1, maybe based off of that.
I'm going to go with Jace, maybe Painful Truths. Doing some work.
Going a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
you got
sure.
Fabiano and Merriam still in game number 1. That's teamer mid-range against Elves. And then our match right in front of us, white-blue mid-range, white-blue historic. DeCandio currently up a game for his team over Kevin and Jones. And the Daddy, as both players are going to go to 6 cards. Well, while these players take a look at 6 cards here, we're going to go over SCG Game Night. It's a very popular promotion. We're in the month of May, Todd. You're wearing a feline focus pin right now. Do you like it?
Honestly,
You're contracted to say yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We're going to go to June. The Prehistoric Playmate. Oh, it's a dinosaur.
I like that one.
I do like that one a lot,
I like
too.
that one.
For July,
I miss the pun names.
we're playing with fire. Another dinosaur.
Nice.
4/4 flying. Go.starcitygames.com/game night. What?
That's not a dinosaur. It's a dragon.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Yeah,
Got
dinosaurs don't
him.
fly. That is a dragon.
I
What
mean,
dragon does that
yes,
make?
they do. Have
It
you
does?
never heard of a pterodactyl?
That's not how that's pronounced at all. Is that how that's pronounced?
No.
Yeah.
That's how it's spelled, though.
The P silent?
Yeah.
Yeah, pterodactyl. I'm getting. I got to brush up. I got it ready for the new Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
It's definitely going to be bad. Definitely going to be
I'm
bad.
still gonna watch
I was
it.
really hoping you were going to say it's going to be bad. 'Cause
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no way it's good.
Yeah, no, I'm still going to watch it. It's going to be great.
Was the first one good with Chris Pratt?
It was fine. I liked it, you know.
I thought it was super medium.
Well, you know, you're a hard man to please.
Like that's not even true at all. I like Fast and the Furious. I like bad movies.
Well, Fast and the Furious is also just great. So
Okay. All right, you can stay for another round.
All right.
Both players doing nothing, by the way, playing more of a flash game, perhaps.
Yeah, so cycling that Forsake the Worldly means that Brennan is a little hard up on lands, almost 100%, because that's the card you want around later in the game to hit a cast out or some such to unlock one of your bigger threats.
Here is Shalai, Voice of Plenty.
You may.
That is going to be.
Shall I? Come on. Come on. Okay, he's smiling. You can't
Wow.
see it.
Wow. Commit to memory is going to place that back for a little bit.
Bye-bye.
I think it's time we ask ourselves, as a community, Is Chris Pratt actually a good actor?
He was as Andy Dwyer in Parks and Recreation.
True.
Just the perfect dunce.
But is he a big movie star?
Sure. He
I
is
think
now.
he's really annoying.
Is The Rock a big movie star?
I think he's really annoying in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, but that's the character.
Okay.
He actually plays a really good Star-Lord.
Okay, I think he's really annoying.
Star-Lord is supposed to be that
But
guy.
I'm supposed to like him. He's the good guy. And he's just really annoying and
I
stuff.
root for him to lose quite often.
Okay, nice. Gideon is here.
I think Brennan actually has a 5th land, and it's a fairy, but I think it might be a enters the battlefield tapped land.
That's a frown town.
Womp womp. I also could be wrong, and he might not have. Did Gideon just not tick up? What happened there?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Oh, he made an emblem.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Nice.
That's a little bit of an aggressive line there. Let's take a look at Gideon of the Trials.
Well, now you got to kill Gideon, or you just can't win, bro.
That's the rules of the game.
Yeah, it says it on the card.
You can just keep moving the emblem off screen. I do want to take a look here. Okay, so for the 0 ability, you get an emblem. With as long as you control Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Okay. So it looks like Kevin is plus on the Walking Ballista until your next turn. Prevent all damage target permanent would deal, which means that he did not use the middle ability of turning into a 4/4 and attacking. Which, okay, fair enough.
So Brennan's holding up 4 mana here. He actually just drew the Shalai again after the Commit to Memory, and it looks like he passed turn. I think his plan is just to go EOT Cast Out while also holding up Disallow. Forsake the Worldly here on Walking Ballista. You know what? That's fine.
Just let it go?
Just it's gone, man. And it's not dealing any damage because it's still under the Gideon's ability, so, you know, just let it go. Just let it go, Brennan. Let it go, let it go, let it go.
There's not much of anything you can do with it.
It's like, I mean, you're a big sports guy, right? So, like, whenever you see, like, someone you really like watching play Magic about to do something you think they shouldn't do, and you just start yelling at the screen, like, please, God, don't do that.
I'm not a TV screamer.
Oh.
I'm not screaming at the TV when I watch LeBron every minute of every game. I don't do that.
No, you just, like, slowly talk on your phone. You're just like, yep, did that poorly, lost, yep.
I'm also pacing back and forth, and I was yelling by myself in a bar during the Game 7 Pacers game. Yeah.
Nice.
I was getting a lot of weird looks in Columbus. It's all worth it, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's all worth it. Just so we can lose in the finals again, it's all worth it.
You know, I don't want to
Careful.
I'll
Careful what you say next about the Cavaliers.
Oh, nope. Free space. Got there. Mentioned Cleveland.
I did. I was trying to save that. You tricked me.
No, I didn't. I did.
Shalai was countered via Disallow. And now, is this card good? We got Shalai's on both sides?
Yeah. You
Shalai?
may. You may.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it has hexproof. All your creatures, planeswalkers, right? They have hexproof. So now, even if Brennan's able to draw something like Cast Out or Seal Away, he can't target the Gideon. It's kind of a big deal.
How about this card? How about this legendary
Lear Dawnbringer. You know, Gideon actually does a really good job of shutting down Lear Dawnbringer. So I you know, it's pretty sweet. In this spot, Gideon is looking really good. Not only that, but he has the emblem where, you know, if the worst should happen, he can't actually lose the game. So it looks like he just uses the Cast Out so he can just start battling.
This will be attack for 7. Okay. We're going to go back over to DeCandio. So far, we have seen Lyra Dawnbringers answered immediately.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the Baneslayer test, right? It's very reminiscent where you had to, back in the day, Baneslayer Angel, you had to kill it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be the same thing that we're seeing a handful of years later as here is Teferi.
Right, but you never saw, you never saw Baneslayer be particularly nutso in the blue-white mirrors, right? That's not where it's going to shine. Mm-hmm. It's going to shine against decks like mono-red, black-red whenever they can't kill it. And that's why you play like 3, even though it's legendary, you play like 3 of this 5-mana card because the second one's probably good.
First one, most of the time, they're going to handle.
Right.
Second one is probably puts the brakes on and they can't beat it. Presumably. You saw Teferi come down, tuck away the Cast Out, Lyra Dawnbringer back on the battlefield. We head back over to Kevin Jones. He's got a History of Benalla in hand and a mystery card that we don't have a great look at. His battlefield is Jace on 5 counters and Shalai.
It's kind of tilting to me that Shalai is so good that you can play it without caring about the second ability.
The green mana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bonus.
We're going to head back over to Brennan, who's got a plus. Draw a card.
Yeah, just do it immediately. the untapping lands doesn't trigger until the end steps, so, you know, just go ahead and draw your card, figure out what you're going to do, what you're going to tap.
Well, he's tapping 4 mana already. Let's see what DeCandio wants to play here. It's going to be a Walking Ballista for 2. Quick update on the scoreboard. Harlan Fear does win his match over Tan and Grace 2-0. So, being a little bit bigger and stronger is going to allow Harlan Fear to win his match. As here is Raph Kapashan.
Yeah, Raph instant speed here. Also going to let him cast History of Benalia instant speed, which is pretty sweet because it triggers when it enters the battlefield and then at the beginning of the pre-combat main phase.
You may cast historic spells as though they had flash. That's artifacts, that's legendaries, and that's sagas, which is what history is.
Yeah, it says it on the card.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice card. 3/3, flying flash. This thing flies?
Yeah.
I guess it's in a ship.
It is great.
Okay, I guess like technically
he's also a wizard. Just let him have it.
Fine.
He casts flying on himself.
Okay. It's good wizardry. That's just good wizardry.
This is the part where the blue-white deck starts to get scary. Well, I say the blue-white deck, but the blue-white historic deck.
Okay.
Just being able to cast things at flash speed is nuts. You know, especially when you start getting to the weirdo like Urza's Ruinous Blast. You know?
You can do some interesting
during
things
your
there.
end step, all your stuff's gone.
Yep. That could be a thing. I do wonder if that card's going to see some play.
I mean, there were like 2 or 3 in the sideboard of the first version of the blue-white or white-blue historic deck. I expect that trend will continue. I mean, does he have it in a sideboard of there? I can't see his list.
No. He didn't have his sideboard when we went over it or anything. So we don't see Urza's Ruinous Blast between these two players.
Sure. Well, it's not quite as good in Bryn DeCandio's deck. He is less historic and more mid-rangey. I guess, actually, no, it's pretty good. It's not a great card when you're playing enchantments that exile creatures, though, because then those creatures get unlocked.
Here come the attacks.
Oh, yeah, he has Flying Brennan. Womp womp.
The card doesn't seem like it has flying, man.
No, he's a flying man.
Yeah. It looks like Kevin ticked up on Lyra to make sure it won't deal any damage. No lifelink, no nothing.
I don't think he has the ability here to keep Teferi alive if the Vigilance tokens are coming as well, which I think they are. So the only real block he should make is probably Ballista onto a 2/2 and pump the Ballista. You know, or he just lets it die. Yeah. That's fine. I guess that would put his shields down for disallow, so then Kevin might be able to Torrential Gearhulk.
Yeah, Kevin's got 1 mystery card in hand. He emptied his hand the turn he played Wrath and History of Benalia. This is another copy. It's a fairy for Brennan.
What's up?
Curious to see what he wants to do with this one.
Well, he can only target Shall I?
Shall I? Yeah.
Shall I?
You may.
You may.
I'm going to steal that from you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's mine now.
No, just keep me in the booth. Okay. Every weekend. This is what I want to do, Cedric.
Teferi's going down?
Yeah, getting rid of Shall I so that he can actually target Raph. You know, not too bad.
Also makes Ballista a little bit better. Yeah, because Ballista's pretty bad right now, actually.
It's not great.
All right, so Shall I's going to go back into the deck. DeCandio does have Disallow in hand, but he's in obviously some trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm on Bryn DeCandio's side, I think I would have played this game a little bit differently. He's trying to always hold up 3 mana for Disallow, but that's just not something you can do when you're this far behind. Like last turn, I'm pretty sure the Vigilant tokens were attacking, but there's no way to tell. You can't tell when Kevin Jones attacks with creatures half the time anyway.
That's true.
You know, you got to use the 4 mana end of turn to put a counter on your Walking Ballista so that you can threaten to get it up to 4 to actually kill Shalai.
Sure. Okay. That makes some sense. Chapter 3 of History of Benalia has gone off. So now those knights are 4/3 vigilance. Let's take a look at Raph.
Raph Capation.
Not a knight. Okay. Human wizard.
Yeah, duh.
I
already told you he was a wizard.
Wanted to confirm Raph's occupation.
I'm actually curious now if there's a knight wizard. Like, if that's a thing. Is there a knight wizard in Magic?
Someone on Twitter will be able to tell us. There's got to be at least one.
No, there's one guy who's just like, my favorite card.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. And Changeling is not an answer, so don't.
Yeah, get out of here with
Don't
that.
do it.
No. Oh, Misform Ultimus?
Yeah.
They should have errata that to be a Changeling. Just saying.
top priority.
You know,
That's the
they
first
just
thing-
errated 70,000 cards.
That's the first thing they should do on Monday morning.
To make it so that Lightning Bolt can target a Planeswalker.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
and the Chandra can't, you know.
Yeah. You're very bitter about that.
I am. I don't like it when cards lose functionality, especially marquee cards. At the very least, I think Chandra should have been errated to say player or Planeswalker.
Ooh,
Just saying.
Kevin almost cast history, but he's got to remember. It's got Flash.
It does have Flash.
It's got Flash. He's going to pass the turn back.
Well, I mean, Brennan was also tapped out.
We've been informed, Todd. That Gatherer says there are no Wizard Knights. How do you feel about that?
I'll just stick with Mistform Ultimus. That's
Okay.
fine.
We'll see if that's true or not.
All right, 5 mana for the third Teferi. That's going to squish Gideon.
Okay.
That's fine. I think Brennan has another disallow in hand, so it's not too bad.
History again. Yep, another disallow. Okay.
Yeah. Now he can keep Teferi alive for 1 turn. Ooh, no. No, he can't, actually. Now I think Kevin's about to draw Shalai, I believe. If he's drawing Shalai this turn, he should, like, play it before blocks. That way the Walking Ballista can't target one of the 2/2 Vigilance Knight tokens. Because otherwise, once blocks happen, I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, does he even have any good attacks because of Lyra?
I mean, he would probably trade multiple things just to get Teferi off the battlefield.
Okay.
Personally, yeah.
Teferi's that good?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean,
What did Kevin draw?
maybe it's Glimmer? It looks blue.
Yeah, Shalai should be the next draw.
Okay, sure.
And then Gideon should be the draw after that, I believe.
Maybe it's the Fingerwag Syncopate. I can't quite tell.
Yeah, no good attacks. Has DeCandio stabilized? You see Ross Merriam's up a game. DeCandio will draw.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to untap with a Teferi Hero of Dominaria, I cannot fathom actually losing the game.
I mean, this card dominated all last weekend across the standard PTQ, online, the standard open for team, or the team constructed open, and the standard classic is everywhere. Teferi in combination with Lyra was everywhere last weekend, and it looks like it's everywhere this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason it's in main decks, and Lyra is in the sideboard sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just good against every deck. Every deck has some permanents.
Here's Raph.
Yep.
You wanted Brennan to bring these in. He's brought in a couple of his own.
Yeah, Kevin drew Shalai for the turn and didn't play it. I'm a little curious about that.
Well,
but,
Flash.
Oh, because of Ref.
Yeah, Flash, yeah.
Yeah, read the card, Todd.
Syncopate's going to take care of the Heart of Kieran. And now there is Shalai.
You may.
We'll go back over to DeCandio. However, DeCandio's drawing 2 cards a turn where Kevin is not. So now Teferi will draw a card.
I think in response to the Shalai, I might have used 2 Walking Ballista counters to kill a Knight. But he can actually just put 2 counters, like main phase here, and just kill Shalai. So that's pretty good.
Also drew a cast out, too.
Oh, okay.
So cast out can take care of that. And now maybe there's some attacking to be done here. Maybe Lyra's starting to start getting in here.
I'm just full defense mode, I think, for at least a little while to make sure that your Teferi doesn't die. I guess.
Well, he wants.
He has a History of Benalia. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can block a Knight, History of Benalia, another Knight, Ballista Tick Down, kill the Raph Capuchin. Playing this,
history.
Even though it can be cast at flash speed, this is a very important learning moment. You want to make sure that you play things against blue decks when they're tapped out.
Okay.
And B, just because it has flash doesn't mean you have to cast it on your opponent's turn. You cast it in the spot where it is best to cast, and right there, main phase, getting the job done.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, but he had 2 mana left over to DeCandio, and they got to untap 2 lands with Teferi.
Bingo.
And then put a counter on.
Walking Ballista.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. This deck looks awesome. Both these decks look very cool and good, and I want to play them.
This is the first time I've seen Teferi in action, outside of earlier today. But obviously it's been on the battlefield for a couple turns. This card's ridiculous.
Basically a 3 mana. It's basically Jace Beleren with a minus ability.
And a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, it costs 3 mana most of the time.
Yeah.
Whenever it costs 5 mana, you get to get rid of the most problematic thing that's on the battlefield. I think I might have held back Raph Capuchin there. You knew he's drawing Gideon from the minus on Teferi earlier.
Okay.
You had to actually sacrifice your walk-in ballista there to get in 3 damage.
Okay.
So I think maybe holding back the Raph would have been a little bit safer play. Like, walk-in ballista on this battlefield with the Teferi going is nuts.
Yeah, you've got so much mana.
Yeah.
Here comes... no, Lyra's targeted by Gideon. Never mind.
All right, just ship them both. So Gideon's going to go to 1.
Yep.
1-1 walking ballista would be pretty good right now.
Well, there's another history of Benalia. Yeah, Kevin's in some real trouble. I don't know if he's got like a Wrath or anything. I mean, Teferi is what's won him in this game.
You know what else
Brennan.
would be really good here?
What's that?
Urza's Ruinous Blast.
That's really true.
The card would be nuts.
That card. Let's take a look at Urza's Ruinous Blast.
Actually, no, it kills all non-historics. It would not be that good.
Is it all non-historic?
I'm
really?
pretty sure it's all It might be all non-legendary, so it would, it gets rid of like cast outs and such.
All non-land permanents that aren't legendary.
Okay.
So is the Saga's legendary, right? Yeah, it's a legendary enchantment.
And the Planeswalkers are now legendary.
Okay, so it actually wouldn't be that good.
Yeah, it's not that
Yeah,
good.
that's not very good at all. You lose.
Yep.
Urza's Ruinous Blast. Get it off the screen.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's ugly. Doesn't do anything.
Bah.
What is this? Forsake the World leaves the top deck from Kevin.
It's not too shabby. Gets to maybe eat the Raph Capuchin. Probably still going to lose your Gideon.
Okay, so Gideon down.
Well, now I can lose the game.
That's true. He technically can lose now.
Yep.
There's a Field of Ruin.
You know, the first match I got to play with Teferi was pretty cool because I got to ultimate, and then on the same turn I ultimated, I main phased a Torrential Gearhulk flashing back Memory, and I exiled 7 of my opponent's lands.
That's fun.
It was toit.
Did you win?
No, I lost. No, I won, obviously. Yeah. He was playing the like black-green Hour of Promise deck, so.
Okay, yeah, dead.
He didn't do anything. I got the ultimate at Teferi. They're clearly.
I mean,
he has nothing going on.
I'm just asking. Could be anybody's game.
It's true.
Teferi's going to tuck away Shall I.
Yeah, we're just going for the jugular here.
Also, History of Benalla Chapter 3 went off.
Yeah, that's technically lethal.
Oh! Oh, no! Top deck Settler Wreckage.
Clean it up.
If he can kill Teferi, he can win.
Well, how's he going to kill Teferi?
I don't know.
I guess he's
got 2 Walking Ballistas.
And some cast outs, you know.
That was a good Settler Wreckage.
Yeah.
Oh, never
Hold
mind.
on.
Never mind. Wait, he's got a minus. He's got a minus first.
He did.
Okay,
he already did it.
You get it.
It comes into play minusing.
Okay.
Bang.
Wait, it comes into play minusing? Why? No. Wait, no. What does your card say?
Karn
minus one
use.
The minus 1 use was not used. It was the minus 2.
Oh, crap.
Yep. Fix that stamp.
I can't. It's permanent. Look, you check your bingo cards whenever you call bingo. We'll just, I'll call bingo, and then you can check it. How about that?
All right, Lyra Dawnbringer. That's the Raph. These two are battling.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is like watching the story play out in real time. Like, except the good guys are fighting each other.
Teferi will draw Brennan another card. Card's going to plus, I think. It's going to minus, making other people.
Construct. Right. It's Pack Rat.
His constructs are
Make some Pack Rats.
His constructs are, they're 2/2s right now.
Yeah, a lot of decks that play Karn have been using it alongside stuff like Treasure Map, things that can generate a bunch of artifacts in a single card. Looks like another Lyra Dawnbringer.
Is that what that is?
I think so.
Yeah, you're right.
Costs 5 mana. Yep. It's a foily one, though. Oh, it might have been the pre-release promo. Maybe. I don't know.
All right, let's see what awesome card Kevin's drawn.
It's a Shalai. We already. Oh, no.
Glimmer.
I keep forgetting it tucks at 2, not 1. It's not commit. It's one more.
Yeah, it's one further down, yeah. Lyras are going to trade.
That's about right.
And Kevin, it looks like that Glimmer was countered.
Kevin, can we please go to the next game? You have no cards in hand.
There is no next game.
Oh, you're right.
There is no next game for Kevin.
Can we go to the next match, please?
That is going to do it. As Brendan DeCandio is going to win this match here over Kevin Jones, 2-0. White-blue mid-range going to take care of white-blue historic. That was a haymaker of match, man.
Yeah, just tapping out like every other turn, casting some giant legendary flying Baneslayer Angels. Yeah, I mean, that was fun to watch. History Benali actually looked pretty good, even though the tokens weren't able to put a ton of pressure on either side, but they were key in helping take down Planeswalkers, which I thought was cool.
Yep.
And the pump ability actually became relevant in a couple spots. If Kevin had not drawn Settle the Wreckage that one turn to take care of the 2 Benalia tokens and one of one other creature, I forget which one it was.
That was it was a Wrath.
Was it a Lyra?
It was either a Lyra. It was either a Lyra or a Wrath.
Anyway, the pump actually became lethal, which is rare, I think, for that card. You know, I think the strength of History Benali comes from just being able to generate 2/2/2 creatures for 3 mana, and the last part is just kind of icing on the cake.
Well, we turn our attention now to Ross Merriam versus Gerard Fabiano. Fabiano is at 1, but let's make it 3, as he'll play a Hunt Master of the Fells and make a Wolf token. Most importantly, gain 2 life up to 3. Merriam is at 14. He's got 2 Darwin's Elite.
He better cast a spell. So I'm pretty sure Gerard's just going to let that Hunt Master not block and hope that he gets the flip.
I think you're right. There is your block. These will trade. Does Merriam have a follow-up? He does in Llanowar Elves.
All right. Well, Gerard can also just pass the turn on his turn, flip, kill the notably, he should target the 2/2, not the Llanowar Elf, because of the card Pendlehaven.
Correct.
So that's something to note. Pendlehaven, one of those lands that seems innocuous, but is super annoying sometimes. You know, the Elf deck usually wins. Elf deck usually wins by a mile, or loses by a mile. It's rare that Pendlehaven actually becomes a relevant card, but when it does, you have to be very aware of its existence and what you should do to play around it.
Hunt Master of the Fells will transform into Ravager of the Fells to take care of that Darwin's Elite. This is an opt by Fabiano, so he will scry 1 and then draw a card. He's going to keep this card.
He's definitely trying to cast 2 spells in 1 turn. This is where Hunt Master of the Fells starts to get out of control, because now he gets to move to his turn, flip it, go up to 3 life, make a 2/2, pass the turn again, flip it again, target the elf. It's going to get saved by a Pendlehaven, but then he just starts the song and dance over again. Snapcaster Mage being particularly busted in this scenario because it is 2 spells and has flash.
Fabiano's going to play another Hunt Master. Okay, this is getting ugly. Todd, I'm going to throw you a bone here. Take a look at Gerard's lands.
The worst basics of all time.
And an Expedition.
You know what? You're a good man.
No problem.
You're a good man, Cedric Brown.
I play a fair bingo game. I play a fair bingo game.
Look, I'm the one that got stuck with Invocation and Invention and what's the other one?
Expedition.
Expedition.
I think you have Expedition, right?
Just call them the what were they originally called? The treasures?
The Masterpiece series.
The Masterpiece? Yeah.
Yes.
Just give me one that says Masterpiece. Don't give me the all 3 of them.
The Swath?
Come on. Where's that?
I think you have Expedition on yours, right?
I do. Yeah.
There you go. You're 2 spots away from winning.
No, this doesn't count.
Oh, you're right. Well, you'll get a card -1 eventually, right?
Yeah. Well, we have a development. It is not particularly good for Ross Merriam, but Azuri is threatening, at the very least.
What does Gerard have here? He's having a bunch of mana. Entrancing Melody.
Oh, boy.
Check out my Melody. Going to regenerate Llanowar Elves.
Did you really just make a Limp Bizkit reference?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did make a Limp Bizkit reference.
Wow.
I'm glad you're here. Do you know the name of the song?
I've listened to that song about 1,000 times, but I do not remember the name of the song.
Check out my Melody. I believe it's My Way. It's My Way.
Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack.
It's My Way or the Highway.
Yeah, remember that one.
We got to keep Fred Durst alive for our younger crowd and for our older generation.
Do we?
Like,
Invocation, Spell Pierce, bingo.
Hey, director, keep it down. Trying to win bingo here. Here's a collected company.
You're just distracting me a lot with your talk of Fred Durst, so it is only fair that the director chimes in to tell me when I get a piece of bingo.
And the Limp Bizkit.
You know what?
They were horrible.
Yeah.
Were they really that bad?
No, they were great.
Nah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
For the time they existed, they were basically geniuses.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, how else can you turn such bad music into so much money?
We have some transformations taking place. A lot of Ross's elves are dying, and now he's dying too. So Gerard Fabiano is going to win game number 2 here at Team Mid-Range against Ross Merriam. And elves, as you see Brennan and Kevin high five. They're going to get ready for game number 3, and while they do that, we are going to hear from our sponsors. Welcome back. Senator Phillips, Todd Anderson. We're here getting ready for game number 3 between Ross Merriam and Gerard Fabiano. It's elves and Teamer Mid-Range. Take a look at the scoreboard there. You'll find that Tannen Grace, he lost his match against Harlan Fear. Grixis Delver loses to Grixis Pyromancer. However, DeCandio with White Blue Mid-Range took care of Kevin Jones playing White Blue Historic. So it's all on this one here between Merriam and Fabiano. 1-1 between elves and Teamer Mid-Range.
Yeah, I was about to say this one is for all the marbles, but, you know, it's just round 3.
There's it technically is.
This is for some of the marbles.
Yeah, a non-zero amount of marbles.
Yeah.
Merriam will be on the plate here, and they'll be underway here in just a moment.
You know, I want to say that Teamer looks like it's probably at a slight disadvantage in this matchup. Elves is a type of deck that usually preys on fair interactive stuff, but there are certain cards that can just take over the game. Stuff like Is That Staticaster, you know, out of fair decks is really good in this matchup. Huntmaster of the Fells obviously kind of showing off in their last game. Gerard, you know, effectively at 1 life, or actually he was at 1 life, played Huntmaster up to 3, was able to start flipping it multiple times, found a second one, and, you know, the game basically ended even when Ross drew his best card in Collect a Company.
Nettle Sentinel's going to come across for 2. Ross will play another copy of Razorverge Thicket. He'll play Devoted Druid, untap Nettle Sentinel, pass the turn back. This is an opt for Fabiano. Top card going to go to the bottom from the scry, and now he will draw a card, will Gerard. He'll untap that 1 land and begin his second turn.
You know, I love a man willing to play such horrendous-looking basic lands while also having other lands that are hundreds of dollars.
Gerard with another opt, scries to the bottom. He'll play an island. And now a Serum Visions.
Is that Steam Vents? I don't even know what land that is. I know, doesn't Patrick like go off about the invocations and
regularly?
Such? Okay, so I should do that or not do that?
I'm not here to stop
You're the
anyone.
boss.
I'm not here to stop anyone.
You know, I'm here for the ride.
Ross could go off this turn.
Yeah,
by the way.
I think all he needs is a Court of Calling, and he has infinite mana. And then he has an Azuri in hand. So he would have done it by now if he had it, I think, with Gerard tapped out. Gut Shot, not really a problem. I guess no, Gut Shot. You still get infinite mana in response because you can untap any number of times.
Yeah.
So. Okay, all right.
Windswept Teeth is what Ross will sacrifice. It's going to fall down to at least 19, potentially 17, as he digs a land out of his deck. It'll just be 19 as he gets a beautiful forest.
That is a nice force.
I would never play with it, but...
Well, that's because they're like paper mache at this point.
That's correct. Also, just not my speed. I want to play with one. I like the unstable.
Look, it's almost as old as you are. Just give it a break.
It's got to be older than... it's not as old as me.
No, it was born in 1994.
Boreal Druid, Nissa.
Boreal Druid. We went deep.
And Nissa.
Oh, actually, Ross may have missed sequence here a little bit.
Why's that?
He could have... oh, no. He wanted to get the 1 extra damage. The Nettle Sentinel is not untapped. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Okay.
Leave it. I'll leave it.
Because he wants to get the counter on the Boreal Druid too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
He
Fabiano.
would have dealt. He wanted to deal 3 damage instead of just. Entrancing Melody, you know, it's looking okay in these spots. It's not great, but it's fine.
Check out my melody.
Just get out.
Check it out. You'll get used to it.
I'm going to the sunken place.
You'll get used to it. Don't worry.
You're throwing me down a Limp Bizkit sunken place
That's
hole.
right. 3 mana here for Merriam. What's he going to play?
Hopefully a green spell. There it is.
All right, Elvish Archdruid.
It's a good one.
Going to get in here with Nettle Sentinel. It's a 4/4.
Gonna make a little plant ski. Do we? Oh yeah, Elliot Raff
Elliot
is
Raff.
the plant token. Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. No, getting this off the screen. We want Elliot Raff on the screen.
Ross is going to make some green manas. What's he playing now? A Zurzer?
3-mana card. Yep.
Untap Nettle Sentinel. Pass the turn back. This is a heck of a battlefield here for Ross Merriam.
Oh, for sure. So right now the Heritage Druid is it's technically a negative, or I guess things don't have negative power anymore.
The Devoted Druid.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Devoted Druid. It is getting pumped by the Elvish Archdruid right now, so it can actually untap 1 more time without dying and use Azuri to protect the Elvish Archdruid. Unfortunately, Azuri cannot protect itself, which I think might be a little too good.
Yeah, if it could regenerate itself, I think it'd be much too good.
Honestly, I would rather it regenerate itself than any other creature. But, nah.
There to help out the Elvish friends.
Yeah.
Just cannot help itself.
So
That's all.
if Ross gets to untap here with all of his creatures intact, and Gerard doesn't, you know, kill the Azuri or have a cryptic command, I suppose, Ross is threatening to do a lot of damage with the overruns and such.
Oh, it's bad news for Gerard.
You know, Gerard didn't play a removal spell on the first few turns. You know, his turn 3 play was steal a Boreal Druid.
Oh, this is bad news for Fabiano.
Wow.
Snap.
This is main phase, too. He's just dead.
Yeah, Snapcaster
Green mana doesn't do anything. Oh, you need
There's red.
Okay, all right. He has red. He might have a bolt or something, and he can kill the Azuri now. I mean, is that a breeding pool down there? Has he just had red this whole time, and I just am unaware?
I don't think so. I
Who
mean,
knows?
either way, Flame Slash
What's
is going
that? What's that again?
Flame Slash.
Flame Slash.
Your card. Your Teamer Box
Oh,
tool.
man. I was so mad when they made all the giant delve creatures because Flame Slash didn't kill any of them, and I had to start playing Roast.
Yeah.
And Roast is awful.
Oh, come on. Roast is fine.
Awful.
All right.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even hit flyers. What's up with that?
I don't make the cards.
Well, you can't roast a flyer?
Nah, it just gets away from
Dude,
you.
half the time when I roast a creature, it's a bird, and I eat it, you know? Come on.
It's a flavor win for me.
Yeah. I mean, roast was great in Standard. Soulfire, Grandmaster, gaining 5 life.
Yeah.
That was nutso.
Yeah, you know a lot about doing that.
And, you know, I had Dismember deals you a lot of damage, so you got to be careful with that. Yeah. Ross here playing a very fair beatdown game against Gerard, though. Very fair.
Let's see what the follow-up's about to be.
Lead the Stampede? Nope.
Nope, another Archer, which is pretty good.
Yeah, all of his creatures are Gigante. I would attack with the 3/3 Archdruid unless he's planning on... What is happening? Why would he not? Oh, I guess he wants to tick up the Nissa, so he's not pumping stuff.
Oh, he's got something to do here. Lead the Stampede. There you go.
Yeah, we have, what, 1 mana floating, I believe? And we can still untap the Druid like 2 times if we want to.
Look at the top 5 cards in your library. You can reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put them into your hands. The rest go to the bottom of the deck. He found 2 creatures.
Putting a ton of lands on the bottom, too.
There's a Land of War Elves. This is a Heritage Druid. And we might see Nissa tick down here.
I think tick up this turn, tick down next turn. Just to threaten to keep in play, like force Gerard to have a Lightning Bolt. But just cashing in and now to get all your creatures bigger protects you from something like Anger of the Gods, which
you got to be a fan of. Even if it's not in the deck list, I think it's appropriate to play around it if you can.
Oh, for sure. No, Minus here actually seems really smart now that I think about it.
Take a look at Gerard's deck.
Like normally, you know, you don't want to overextend too much into it, but when you can get your creatures all above 4 power, Like now, you know, he has a bunch of 4/4 Elvish Archdruids, so a single Anger doesn't do it. He needs to have a third red mana, Anger of the Gods, and a Bolt.
Yeah.
Or, you know, some other cheap removal spell.
Fabio's going to untap against a army of angry elves. He'll draw a card. I don't know what it could be that'll save him in this spot, but he's playing on, so there must be something.
Blue Swords plus Cryptic could buy him a turn.
There's a Scalding Tarn, as we are in extra turns now. That Boreal Druid was taken via Entrancing Melody. Gerard's played a couple copies of Opt. It's a Snapcaster Mage, casting an Opt again. And a Flame Slash to take care of Azuri, because Azuri would have killed him otherwise.
Oh, for sure. I mean, letting an elf player untap with Azuri is dangerous.
Surefire way to lose.
For sure. Especially when they have Elvish Archdruid, which usually just says tap overrun. And usually one overrun is good enough. Luckily for Ross, he had the ability to overrun twice.
Yeah.
Just buku's amounts of damage.
You see the life totals here, 19 for Merriam, 9 for Fabiano. Fabiano is going to start his turn with a Snapcaster Mage yet again.
Snapcaster Flame Slash on one of the 4/4 Archdruids is a reasonable start. And then if he can survive, actually, if he has 3 mana, so he could fetch Shock Anger if he has it right now. The question is, does he have it?
It doesn't look like he's playing any Anger of the Gods this weekend.
Okay.
So it would be tough to have.
Okay, he has a Lightning Bolt in hand.
Okay.
He can use that to take care of the Elvish Archdruid. He probably wants to do it now so there could be no Collected Company in response to get another Elvish Archdruid to protect it.
Or an Azuri to regenerate it.
Or an Azuri to regenerate it.
Yeah.
Good call, sir.
What's interesting is, I think, Gerard would like to try to wreck Ross in combat if it comes down to it, but this is risky.
I'm pretty sure that the Expedition on the bottom is a breeding pool.
Okay.
That's my guess. Because he didn't cast Flame Slash until like turn 4 when he had to opt, and he kept a mountain really quickly and played it and then cast Flame Slash.
Well, then breeding pool it is.
Yeah. It's like a coin flip.
Merriam is drawn. It's turn 1 of extra turns, of course, so that means Ross will have turns 1, 3, and 5. Gerard will have turns 2 and 4.
So at this point in the game, I don't believe Gerard can actually win the match. At this point, I believe it is draw for both teams, or Merriam able to take it down and take the match. The teamer deck, especially on a fair scale, they don't have a way to bust through a ton of damage against a deck like Elves. With that said, you can sometimes do some crazy stuff with Snapcaster Mage and Lightning Bolt, but he only has 2 full turns to work with.
Yep.
You know, given a third turn, things could change.
But I find it unlikely, much like you, that
Same.
Gerard, Harlan, and Kevin will be able to win this match. But Ross's team can. And you see Ross say, I'm going to attack with everybody. Gerard's going to fall down to 8.
Does he have a second mountain? He does not. So he has actually shocked down to 6. But he's going to bolt the Archdruid here. A play I would love to see if Ross drew it would be untap Heritage Druid. Or not Heritage. I keep calling it Heritage Druid.
Devoted Druid.
Devoted Druid. And cast Collected Company.
Doesn't have it.
Doesn't have it. Ross is a great player. He would have figured it out if it was there.
Looks like Snapcaster Mage is going to jump in front of Nettle Sentinel. Boreal Druid is going to block the Elliot Wrath plant token. And it looks like 4 damage is going to come across here.
Gerard actually putting a Pearl Druid's a 2/2, right?
What's that?
Oh, yeah, and it was a 1. Okay.
Yeah,
so
1/2 and no 2/2.
Putting a pretty big importance on the extra mana from the Boreal Druid, potentially. Even though it's colorless, he has no way to use the snow mana. I don't think.
The old snow mana.
I don't know if he went deep. He's like, maybe I can Entrancing Melody my opponent's Boreal Druid and then activate my Scrying Sheets.
Oh, you're on to him. You're on to him.
Mouth of Ronan.
Yes.
Got him.
Is it Huntmaster time? Okay.
All right, so we're at 4. We have 3 blockers. The ability to play an instant speed spell against 4 attackers. Okay. Well, so this is 3, so Ross will get this one and one more. He needs a big draw this turn. Like if he draws a Zuri this turn, he can maybe activate it on his next attack. I don't believe he has enough mana. I mean, he can maybe overrun once. I don't know if it would be lethal because he would have to use a bunch of mana creatures to overrun.
Well, he's going to keep attacking.
Yeah, all the 2 power creatures coming in for sure. 1 power creature is getting eaten by Wolf and Huntmaster. Not great.
Gerard's got a Bolt too. Wow.
Yeah, it might behoove him to actually take the 2 from the Llanowar Elf and just bolt the Nettle Sentinel down because it's so big.
Looks like he's going to bolt the Llanowar Elf. All right, that's dead. Yep. Some trades. Okay.
All right, what's the follow-up from Ross? It's got to be a good one. Nope.
Temple Garden is not a very good one.
All right. So this is going to end up in a draw. I don't believe either player can win. Unless Gerard has some kooky Saheeli Rai combo coming right now.
It looks like Huntmaster's going to transform, going to take care of Boreal Druid. Ross will take 2. This is turn number 5, extra turns. Nettle Sentinel is still going to stay tapped. Gerard is curious if maybe he should kill Devoted Druid. I actually like killing that more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, collect a company into infinite mana. Azuri actually kills him.
Yep, and Vendilion clicking the draw step here. Shows a Razorverge Thicket.
All right, that'll be a draw.
Yeah, these players are going to end up shaking hands in what was a very entertaining match, no doubt about it. But it does appear as though it's going to be a draw. It doesn't look like there's going to be a turn 6 and 7 here. So these players will have a conversation about who may win, who may not. But on the surface, it does appear to be a draw, so we will come back to the booth here, Todd, and get ready to take a